Live. Live.
Ahoy! Kaptein Ola
Ahoy!
here and Queen Raae! Whoops! Oh, that was close. Another week, another dollar. Yeah!
Another week, another dollar, another 2-week build live session.
It's
What is
the
happening to
last
my
week.
sound?
It's the last week, yeah?
Let's see. Woo! Just messing up everything now. Okay, come on. It's so hard to see yourself mirrored and then try to figure out how to do this. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Yes.
Yes. The queen is now ready.
Yes.
So last week we've been building a podcast website.
Yep, that's right.
And we're just going to continue building a podcast website.
Yeah, why not?
But we're also going to explore something because that's what I think is fun, because we are been using we've not been using Gatsby. We've been using Astro, which is new for us. So we are now, or I want to figure some things out because I am kind of missing the Gatsby data layer, because for this podcast project on Friday, I think we wanted to be able to pick the 5 most popular podcasts and put that on the front page. And to do so, we had to download analytics data and then loop through all of that and then summarize a year worth of data points. And having to do that every time the page loads, especially when you're in dev mode, was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So let's see. And I promised everybody we were going to do the sign today, but we're not doing the sign because this might be more fun, or at least this is a fun exploration. So let's go a little bit back to, let me share my screen. So entire screen. So what we're talking about is these most popular episodes, but not only those. It was also, oh, I didn't share, so you're not seeing that. There we go. These most popular episodes, but it's not only on this page. Kind of, this will be the most compute intensive one, because we are getting all the analytics data, we're looping through it, we're summarizing for every episode, and then we find the 5 most popular episodes. But even for just like this page here, it goes and fetches all of the episodes again. And then if we go to all episode, the archive pages is also fetching all the data again. And we had somebody submit, which I thought was a really cool, like interesting way. Let's see here. So Rishi, I'm guessing, created a pull request where he basically cache the API requests. So that is a good way to go, where, if you already have that data, especially when you're in development, don't like keep getting that data, because when you're in development, it's not that important that you have the absolute latest. But for us, what's most compute heavy kind of is it's that calculation of how many downloads an episode have had. And I also kind of want to look more into content collections. And I feel, because after I was looking through a little bit, and most of the tutorials I've seen on content collections is markdown files, but you can also do JSON. You then have to say type data. So it's not a type content, it's a type data. So that means that you can have, where is a diagram of episode? No, here. So with Astro, you can have content collections. So if you put content inside of this source content folder, each folder under content can become a different content collection. So here you say newsletters, you have 2 newsletters, blog posts, and authors, and those are JSON. So that's the data type, and then these other are content type. So my thinking then was, what if we pre-build, so before Astro does its build, we download all of the podcast episodes and put it at each episode as a JSON in this episodes folder. So we'll create a content collection ahead of time. And why I think that is also extra interesting is because I found this experimental content collection cache, which enable persistent cache for content collections when building in static mode. And if I understood that correctly, where was the link? There was somewhere here, enabling build caching. If you're working with large collection, you might wish to enable cached builds with the content collection cache flag. This experimental feature optimizes Astro build process, enabling unchanged collections to be stored and reused between builds. So I think that means that they don't regenerate all the pages for the collections that haven't changed, but I don't know. But so this, and I think I said on Friday, I am pretty sure, I have a gut feeling that Astro will keep building on these content collections in the same way Gatsby did with their nodes, where they're going to say, if an entry in a content collection hasn't been changed, there's no need to statically build a page that is based on that post or that episode or that content to rebuild it because the content hasn't changed, right? So I think they're going to, they're going to do stuff with this moving forward. So then I thought, okay, let's take advantage of that, or like, let's experiment at least with just downloading this data up front. And another cool thing about that is that we could, if we're gonna like distribute this as a template, we could have some episode data in here as like just test data, the data that you use while you're developing. And then when you build it on wherever you're going to build it for production, you could change out that with your real data. So that's kind of one benefit I'm seeing, or I'm thinking. And then the other benefit I'm seeing is that and we haven't done this yet, like this, we're going to do this live, but I have tried to define the collection. So I'm saying that there should be a title, a slug, a downloads, that is a number, and then description, and then our embed HTML. So this will then also validate the data we've gotten back from our API, because we're going to take the data we get back from the API, we're going to create JSON files and put on disk. And then when Astro builds, if these JSON files don't conform to what Astro is expecting here, the build will fail. So we'll have like a little bit of, So I think this is an interesting way of potentially doing this. We are also live on Twitch today, everyone. So you can head on over to Twitch, Queen Raae on Twitch, and we have gotten our first spam. So I'm just gonna, there's no way.
Is that from, that's from Twitch.
It's from
totally
Twitch.
From Twitch.
I want to offer promotion of your channel's viewers and followers. I was hoping I could like ban them or something from StreamYard, which we can in YouTube, but we cannot. So
can you?
It will just be
you
there.
You don't need to look at it.
No, I was trying to like click on it to like get to the menu where I could ban the person, but it seems like I can't. So we'll have to do that after the fact, I guess. We are Twitch newbies.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's what that spammer probably knows that. He's like, these newbies, I'm gonna trick them.
They probably have some kind of little server there looking for folks who haven't streamed ever. And then when they do their first stream, they have a little little thing running to do to just like put that comment in.
I'm gonna trick you guys. Oh yeah.
But if you are watching from YouTube or Twitter, please head on over to YouTube and like and subscribe.
Yes,
because it's all about those numbers, Anyway.
No, it's not at all. You should write a comment. That's much cooler.
Yes, that is much cooler. We love input. So back to what I'm thinking. So what we did last time, we wrote it up in TLDraw. Like we got all the episode analytics. We added together the download from all 7 days for one episode, and then we sorted by total downloads and shows most popular. That's what we did last time. And before that, we also, we had some code to actually get all episode info. Episode info and generate pages for them.
Oh yeah.
So we've already kind of done that. But what I'm thinking now then is that instead of doing this as part of Astro, we are going to go ahead and kind of do this ahead of time. So we'll make a little script that can run before Astro build. And it should get all episodes, and then it should get the analytics, and then it should write. Oh, did I write episode? Wow, look at this. We're getting Grammarly suggestions inside of TL Draw.
I like it.
Doesn't seem like it's working properly though. Episodes. Oh my, it's not working.
But it's right now.
Yeah, but I think we can dismiss the Grammarly on this page. Grammarly. No, don't check on this type page. Okay, get all episodes, and then get all the analytics, and then calculate total downloads for episodes. And then we will write a JSON file to disk for each episode. And that should then be written to source content episode so that it can become a Astro collection. So that's what we're going to try to do today. And I have started a little bit. What I've done is taken the code that we already had, and which is getting all the episodes and getting the analytics and calculate the total download for episodes. I've actually already gone ahead and done that. So I took all the like helpers we had here in our, oh, this is too small, that we had here in our data index file. And then I have created a scripts folder and then just changed the way we use them a little bit. So we still have here, we have the fetch episodes function that fetches all of the episodes from the transistor from this transistor API with the correct show ID and the correct status. And we loop through all of them so we get everyone. And then we have the fetch episode analytics that does the same thing. It gets all of the analytics for the show ID that we want with the start from the start to the end date. And our default start and end date is one. So not this week, but a week ago. And then we want to do a year before that. But that's quite a lot of data. So while we are just testing this out, I said just 2 weeks ago. So we're getting last week's numbers. And then we come to the new part, which is that, and did you know this, you can now do a top level await. So we don't have, before you couldn't do awaits top level in a JS file. So, but now you can. So we don't have to wrap this in a function that we then call, which was something we used to do with these kinds of scripts, but now we can just wait it. So we wait all the episode data, we wait all the analytics data, and then I've just been console logging the first one in the analytics just to see how it was. And then we loop through all of the episodes, and then for each episode, we find the analytics that the analytics for that episode, and then we go through the downloads array, and then we add those together. We summarize them, because in our transistor analytics, we get a downloads key with an array with the downloads for each day. So then if we want to get the downloads for the full time period, we need to add all of those together. We don't get that for free but from transistor. And then we just add that onto the episode. And then I console log the episode data. So let's look at how that looks. So to run a script, you just do node, and then we do the path to the file. So source script And then I just called it data, didn't I? Data. And now it will run through our script. It's going to take a while. And we have 97 more. So this has happened. So let's just do one of them. Let's just output the first one, or like log the first one so we can see how it looks. So we have the data that came back from Transistor on the get episode data. And then on this line, we are pushing a new one called total downloads. So you can see here, total downloads is 0 for this one, the last week. So it's working. So now we need to create our JSON files on disk. And I don't remember how to do that. So this is where the fun begins, everyone. We're going to figure out how to write to disk with Node. And I think if we go and look at that PR that we got, because he writes to disk for the cache, so we can have like a little bit of a look on how we write to cache again. Yes, and we'll do it synchronously because that's probably the easiest for us. So we'll need these. So I think exist sync is that we are checking to see if a folder exists. And then you have make a directory is making the folder, and then you read a file and you write a file. So what we need is that we're going to have to check if the content episodes folder exists. And if it doesn't exist, we'll need to make it. Or I think we should actually assume that it's there. That's going to be easier for us. We'll assume that it's there. So all we kind of need then is write file. So we'll do import write file sync. And then here we are going to write for every episode. So we're already looping through all the episodes. So we could probably just write. And then I'm going to have a little bit of look at the write sync from file sync from Node.js. So but maybe we don't really need it to be written synchronously. We could do it async. This is not the correct one. I hate it when somebody are higher up than the official documentation. This is the unofficial documentation. So write file.
They're like, my SEO skills are so good. But I don't want to read your stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So we have and now I downloaded. What happened? I'm trying to just open it in a new freaking window. Not download. Am I pressing the right? But there we go. I'm just pressing the wrong buttons. Yeah. So is there an example here? Write file. So this is the async version. And it gives us a promise. So we could actually do that, and then we could just await all of them. That would be fun. So let's do that. And I'm changing my mind. Let's not use the synchronous one. We're gonna do all of them. So write file, and then we do message text, and then we do data, and then signal. Do we need a signal? That's just in case we want to abort. It's possible to use an abort signal to cancel. Yeah, we don't want to cancel, so we don't need that. But it says we need to do data. We need to do uint array. We might get buffer from hello Node.json. Okay, so we'll try to do that. Okay, so we'll just do write file. And what we want to do then is that we want to create an array of promises. So what we could do then, instead of doing a for here, we can do a map, and we can map over all the episodes and return a promise, and then we can await all of the promises. So episode file promises equals, and then we'll do episode data map exactly like the Copilot suggested. And then we will copy this and remove that. So then we have the analytics, and then we'll just do const total download because we don't need to put it onto the episode. And what we want to return here then is our write promise. So write file, and well, this looks pretty good, Copilot.
Yes.
So we're just going to skip the error handling in here. We're going to do write file. We're going to do source and not data. It's source content episode, and then we'll do the episode ID and then JSON. That is good. And then we're going to stringify episode and total download. Yes. And now I'm wondering if I need to create a buffer or if I can just write a string. I don't think so. Let's have a look at what he did here. Right. File sync. Let's see how the signature looks at this. Well, it looks like you can just do stringify. And then he says UTF-8. Can we do that with our file, with our write file? Let's have a look at the signature here. Yeah, so we can do options encoding. Yeah, so we can actually just write a string. So that works fine. And then options, we can do encoding, but it defaults to UTF-8. So that's what we want. And then it returns a promise. That is fine. So we're going to write file. Okay, so that's good. What I am not so sure of is that we need, like, this will not actually get us to the correct place in the file system. We want to be able to get to this folder, and that's one up from where we're at. And there is a way in Node to get the folder you're actually in. And I think Raae is doing that here as well. So we can have a little bit of a still look at what he does. So it's cached file path, cache dir. Yeah, so he does cache directory by join process CVD. I can't remember what that is called. Let's see. I think it's where we're sitting, but I also think there's a way to get an inbuilt application to get the current working directory. Oh boy, this is the crappiest site. Let's go to the official documentation. But I see why the official documentation is not the one being favored, because we click it and we don't get to where we wanted to. There we go. Returns the current working directory of the Node.js process. So what does it's current working directory. See, that's why it's called current working directory. But I think there's another way to do it as well that we did in our some of our Gatsby work. Let me have a look at that. I think if we go to file, open recent, Queen Raae. Okay, let's open a new window. File, open recent, Queen Raae. In one of my plugins here, I was trying to do some work on that. Source posts. Or maybe we did it in the config. Yeah, it's this one, directory name. And that is not coming from anywhere. It's just like automatically assumed. Let's see if we can use their name. This variable may appear to be global, but it's not. Okay, well, have a look at it. The directory name of the current module. This is the same as path, their name of the file name. Example, running node example from somewhere. Okay, I'm going to use this one because it's the one that I've used before. And it's the name of the current module, not where we're actually set. Okay, let's just do some like examples. So let's not do this work and let's just write out, or let's just make another file script. New file, test.js. Okay, console log, and then console log. What was the other one? It was process. So let's see what we get for the different ones. Test. This file is being treated. It's not defined in ES module scope. Let's see. If we just import something and see where we're at. No, so we should use. Yeah, because this is actually giving us the location of where we are when we run this process and not the file. So do we want it to be based on where we are located when running the file? Well, that could work because we're going to run these from our root, the root of this folder. So let's do that then. Okay, so then the path would be this plus, and then source content. Let's go back and look at what he did. Cat join. So let's use that. I think join is one of the built-in things in Node. It's from Node path. So it's a way to join different strings and make it be an actual path from Node path. So then we'll use that here when we create the path. So we'll do join the location we're in, and then all the way to the path that we want. Source content, episode ID, JSON. And then we've gotten back all of these episode file promises. And then we can await promise all episode file promises, and then we should get a bunch of episodes here. Let's see what happens. It's been a long while since I've been playing around with the Node stuff. There must be one of type function received undefined on internal error. It's actually writing it out. Invalid argument type. The CB argument is your type function on data 81 or 71. 81, write file. 71. We are here. 81, write file. Does it have to have a callback? Sync. Where was our documentation for a write?
I logged into Twitch.
Good job.
I'm just logging into shit, you know.
Are you not following my my amazing coding here?
Yes. It's not that hard to log into Twitch.
Oh boy. Where am I? I'm trying to do the word write sync, write file sync. Here we are. Where's our example? Didn't they have an example? Write sync, write file sync. Here we go. No, it's write file. Here we are. Yeah, that's error handling. I don't want the error handling. Okay, let's do error handling then. So data. Oh yes, it's UTF callback. So we have to have a callback. Is that it? Callback error. The file doesn't say that it's unsafe to use write file multiple times on the same file without waiting for the callback. Okay, but we're not doing that. We're writing new files. The description behavior is almost intended directly calling. Well, let's add in the error handling again. Oh, okay. So if there's no error, then the file has been saved. Let's see what happens now. Look at that.
Yes.
Now we have them all.
Oh my. Look at that.
Oh my. And do they have the total download and everything? Yes. But then we're going to change it up a little because I don't want all of these like weird things. I just want the attributes. So we can go back to our script here and then we do attributes. And then we add back our code. Wow, look at this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's see. Now this looks like what we need. And we have all of them. And I've added this little git keep file in the folder so that the folder will actually be checked into Git, even if there's nothing in it, because otherwise empty folders are not checked into Git. And then we don't have to check and like recreate this folder. We, in our data script here, we are expecting that episode folder to be there. Otherwise it will error out. So I think if I delete, no, maybe not, because maybe then it will actually create that folder when we're writing. Let's delete the whole folder and see what happens. If it will actually create the folder for us or not. No, so now it's like it's the directory doesn't exist. So, but that's fine because then we say that that is a requirement episode, and it is a requirement because it will be a requirement for kind of our template. So git keep. And what I'm thinking then is, as I said earlier, is that we can have like 4 or 5 episodes here, or 10 or 20, as like the episodes we're working with when we are in development, and you don't even have to fetch the data while you're developing. But now we want to fetch the data while we're developing. Okay, so now we have all the files here. Now we can go, or my thinking is that we can go where my TL draw. So we're getting all of that, and we've written them as JSON files. So now we're going to refactor what we have, refactor the pages we have to use collections. So, oh, don't save this. I don't need to save this. So then if we go to collections, I have this open somewhere. Here we have collections, defining collections. So I've started doing that. I've added this setting up TypeScript. I've started defining a schema. So we go to our config here. We say episode collection, and it's of type data because it's JSON and not Markdown. And then we say title slug, and then total downloads. I think I called it total downloads. And that should be a number, and it's no longer optional. So title slug, total download description, embed HTML. It should have more than that, but that's at least what we need. So title, and then total downloads, and all of the other stuff. But this is what we use, I think. So if we then go to our pages, that should be the next. Defining multiple collections. Yes, we'll do that later, I think. Collections. Yes, we've done that. As your project grows, no, we're not interested in that. Querying collections. Generating routes from content for static output. That's what we want. So on get static paths, we then need to change our code to use this collection instead of just fetching the data from the API. So that would be this page. So we already created our own convenience method, but we'll do the collection code here instead then. So we'll need to get collections from Astro content. So we'll do that. And then we just do episodes await collection episodes then, I guess. So episodes await get collection. And then episode. And I think I called it episode, so it didn't help me there with the TypeScript. Because I saw that they use singular as the naming. If you go back here to organizable multiple collections, defining multiple collections. Yeah, they call it newsletter, but there they call it authors. So let's call it episodes then. Episodes.
Yes.
Episodes. Config. So then it's episodes. But do we then, does it have to be called episodes here as well then? I think so. I think this then needs to be called episodes. Because I think this has to match that. Let's have a look. Authors. If we go up to see how they define it or how they put it in, yeah, so it's authors. So those things need to match. So then in our data script, we need to have episodes. Okay. So episodes. And then we do as before, we just map through them and we map it. Okay. So episodes, map, episode. So the slug then is there's no longer any attributes because we've just removed that when we were saving the files. And then, so then the entry will actually be the episode. Okay. But then TypeScript should be nicer than this.
Well.
Okay. So entry, astroprops, well, we're not going to do any render. Shouldn't then, oh, so it's entry data? Okay, so there's an added data prop on these collections. No. Okay, let's console log this episode. Okay, let's see. Maybe we need to do another dev to actually have this happen for us. Oh, localhost.
Localhost.
So let's go to one of these episodes. Okay, expected slug to be a string. Is it not a string? So episodes should be the one in here. And it has a slug and it's a string. So are we expected slug to be a string? So is this inside of our collection code that's messing up, or? Yeah, it doesn't say slug does not exist on type ID collection episode data. Oh, so it's that data property episode data. Why is there a data? Is that something? Let's have a look at our episodes here. There's no data on here. Do you think that's a Astro collection thing?
The data?
Yeah, here it says 8 entry data and then props. But here it says slug entry slug. Okay, so the slug we get might be this ID, the number here.
Oh.
Okay. So let's see what we get back from episodes from a collection. Lilian, er det deg?
Nei.
Hei!
She said no.
It's not me. Hei, vil du si hei til de
Hello.
på showet? Eh?
Hello.
She just came home from school. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try this again and see what we're getting. Yeah, it looks okay. So we get the ID from the number here, I think. And then the collection and then the data. Okay, then it makes sense. So we need to do episode data slug.
You can
And
tell her
then-
to come up to me.
And then the same thing here, we then get the entry. So that's why they call it the entry, because it's actually the data that is the episode, the data on the entry. So if we call it entry here, then we can do entry data and then entry data. And hopefully this will work then. Har du hatt en fin dag?
Ja,
Ja,
som pass.
som passe. It's been an okay day at school. Oh, it is working now.
Yes.
So now we just need to replicate this on all the pages or on all our page templates.
You can tell her to come up to me.
Okay, vill du gå upp till pappa, Lilian?
Når,
Vill du vara här?
når det ferdig?
10 minutter.
Det kort.
Ja. Skal du finne på noe? Du kan stå her, altså, men du kan ikke kvele meg.
Kan jeg spise brødskive med noe godt i dag?
Hæ? Nei. Men du kan lage deg en brødskive med noe annet.
Kan du få noe godt?
She
So
wanted sandwich with chocolate spread.
okay, so on this one then we can do the same thing. We'll get all the episodes from using the collection. And then we don't need to map it anymore because we've already done that by saving the data as we want it. And then page size. And hopefully this works, even though... But then I guess we need to do... See, this is the problem we already, like we had last time too. Like it's not properly typing these page data.
Yeah.
But if we do console log on the data on the page, we can see what that looks like. And then I'm going to try and figure out why that is on off stream. So if you go to all episodes here, we are getting the data is ID collection, and then there's the data. So that is similar as we had earlier. So then this would be the entry. And then we have entry data slug and entry data title. Data.
Blah, blah, blah.
She is mocking me.
And
I like it.
There we go. And now we only have this front page where we're fetching most popular episodes that you saw took quite a while. So we'll do, they did have like a filter thing. I think you just have to do it on the front end, or not on the front end, but we'll have to do it in the front matter. So like if we're working with collections. No. Where's the recipe? Content extend with content collections, create pages. Like filter content collection. I've seen. Maybe it's here. Now I have smelly feet.
Yes, that's good.
Smelly feet, smelly feet.
That's very parody.
So I think the way I've seen it when I've been like browsing the the documentation before is that again we just get the collection. We get the collection and then we ask for all of the episodes. We ask for all of the episodes and then we will need to
I'm a potato queen, potato queen, potato queen,
LOL!
potato queen. Yeah.
Det var fun. That was fun.
Yeah, so we'll need to get all of the episodes and then we'll need to sort them like we did earlier. And we have the code for that, like we did in our helper here. So let's sort. I think we sorted episodes, and then we'll find the 5 most popular ones. So we'll do sorted episodes is our episodes, and then it's I guess it will be data. Again, it doesn't total downloads. So it won't be, oh, I've done these as any, which is not correct because they will be typed by Astro Collection and then it will be entry. I think now she's filming us.
Nej, jag tog bilder.
Okay, she took a photo. It's meta. It's
meta.
Data.
Bra!
Huh? You can film a little. Do you want to film? Du kan filme meg litt sånn fra siden og bakfra og sånn, eller derfra og sånn.
Ja, måtte
Okay.
bare ta en selfie med deg i bakgrunnen.
Well, of course you had to take a selfie with me in the background. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so then we sort it from the most popular to the least popular, and then we find the most popular 0 to 5, and then we'll use that down here instead. So we'll do most popular episode, and then it's episode, and then we decided to call this entry instead. So it's entry data slug, and then entry data description, and entry data. And if this is not work from home vibes, I don't know what is. Okay. So if we head on over to our front page again, look at that. That's so much faster load. Can you see that? Because before we were asking for all of the data from Transistor, looping through all the data and calculating the total downloads, and then finding the most popular ones on every time in development where we go back to this page, it would do all of that. But since we now downloaded everything in advance and save them as JSON inside of the content folder, now Astro can treat it like a collection, and then we get all of that nice stuff from Astro Collections. I'm pretty happy with this approach. How do you feel about this approach, Ola? I can't hear you.
Me too. I'm happy.
So we'll need to ignore these episodes. So they are not committed. So content episodes, and then source content episodes. JSON. So just the files, not the folder. So now none of them will be committed. Suddenly we have 13 files that have changed instead of like 200 and something files. So that's pretty good. And then we can delete this data folder where we had helpers. And we're good to go. And we can delete this one.
Yes.
And the last thing I didn't want to do is that I would like to say that before we run Astro build, we'll need to do node and then this script. So I think we can just do, we can just do that like so. Just copy this and then do and, or just and. And then for dev, I don't want to do it every time, but I'll do a like data that will just fetch the data and it will do the same thing we did above. So I can now either do npm run data and it will do it and fetch all of them. or we can do npm run build, and it will first fetch all of them and then build, hopefully. Some kind, no errors. No, it says the file has been saved afterwards, so that's the callback. Well, that's fine. We'll have to have a little bit of a look into that to see if it happens ahead of time. I think maybe it's and to run them not in parallel. Node script run node scripts synchronously. Yeah, we'll figure that. I think it's and. We'll figure that out.
Did
we'll
you want
just
synchronously or not?
Not, because I wanted to first download all the data and then run the build.
Then you should search for asynchronously.
So, no, because asynchronously is the opposite. Then you can just fire them off and they'll finish when they want. This worked. So now it's synchronously.
So you want to synchronously?
Yes.
All right.
First the first thing and then the second thing. So that works now.
That is not synchronously. That's consecutively.
Well, in computer science, we call that synchronously.
Synchronously is at the same time, isn't it?
Something is synchronous, occurs in time or at the same time. So yeah, you're correct. But usually it means that with code, it usually means that if you're asking the computer to do something and then you're asking it to do something else, it will actually happen in that order. But if it's async, you say just start doing this and then start doing the next thing, and then they can just finish whenever. But
hey, why did you get hearts when I don't get hearts?
Well, maybe you haven't updated your OS, because I can also get this.
Of course, I don't have updated my OS. Oh,
and I can do this. Well,
Lilian, se da, Lilian. Du må se.
Hæ? Se der,
Det kan
Lilian.
skje på skjermen, Lilian. Hun følger ikke med. The young people of today, they're not paying attention.
Look at that. I get a thumbs up.
I remember when I was a kid.
Ja, du må gjøre det mot den skjermen.
Greit. Tot.
Nei.
Okay, she wants to try.
Huh?
Okay, try. Sånn. Okay. Se på den, og så gjør du sånn.
That's right.
Det var kult.
That's how you do it. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of a summary then, because we actually managed to do what we were supposed to do in this hour.
I like it. I like it a lot. What?
Fetch data to disk and use as Astro collection is what we did. We fetched data to disk and then used it as an Astro collection. Ja.
Kan jeg føre de inn til telefonen din, for jeg skal lage en video av deg?
Ja, når jeg er ferdig om et par minutter.
Fordi jeg skal putte inn først den videoen jeg tok nettopp.
Ja.
Skal det være masse sånne bilder?
Ja, kult. She wants to edit this behind the scene footage of me. Ok, Lilian, men nå har jeg 2 minutter igjen. Kan du la meg snakke da? Ok, kanskje. Så.
Hva det jeg skal prøve?
Lilian, vær så snill. 1 minutt trenger jeg. Kan du være på andre siden av veggen i 1 minutt?
Would you like, can you let me talk now? And the pirate princess, yes, maybe. That's right.
Okay, so what? We downloaded the data we need for the site separate from building the site. So we're downloading the data we need into the file system, into the content folder, so that we can use Astro Collections to interact with it afterwards. And how did we do that? Is that we took our data fetching code and we put it into its own little script file. And one thing I needed to change is to use .env to get the data from our n variable file, because we can't use those import meta env thing we do in Astro, because that's part of the Astro build process, or Vite, which Astro uses under the hood. So here we just fix it ourselves. We say .env, and that's how we get our environment variables into the script. And then we have our fetch episode code. We have our fetch episode analytics code. And then what I added is that I'll, instead of then returning this to our Astro pages, we are doing this before build, and we are looping through all episodes and then creating a file for each episode. So under the episodes folder, we now have all of these JSON files, one for each episode. And then we also calculate the total downloads for each episode from the episode analytics data that we fetched. So then we can do that while we're developing. We can call this script once, and then we can develop to our heart's content with outdated data if we want to. But then we don't commit these episodes data, so we had to remember to go into git ignore and ignore all of these episodes, because that means when we push this up to Netlify, there will be no data in there. And then on build, we are asking to first run the script. So we run the script and then we do Astro build. So we'll then populate this episodes folder with fresh data and then build a site. So I think we'll also have to remember to go into Netlify and ask it to do, because I think maybe in Netlify, the default is that it does Astro build and not like npm run build. So we'll just have to make sure that it actually runs this full command and not just Astro build, so that it fetches that fresh data, all of that episode data for us. Yeah, and then we also added something to the config file, which is called content collection cache true, which said that it would cache the unchanged collections to be stored and reused between builds. So that means that I don't think that Astro does all the work that it usually does to like source a collection in. I think it's not done if the collection hasn't changed. How it figure out if the collection hasn't changed or not, I don't know yet. We're not that far down the weeds with Astro, but I just put it in there just to just to make sure. Yeah, but it's experimental, so it's they're working on it. And this also makes me think that Astro will take the collection concept a lot further than just sourcing JSON and Markdown from the file system. I really, really hope they make something similar to Gatsby's data layer, but just much more simplified and without the graphical interface that seemed to be the big hurdle for people with Gatsby. But the data layer was... How did I get a heart again? I can't get a heart when I want to.
Yes, you can. Go
There
on.
we go. The data layer.
Kan jag pröva?
The data layer.
Kan jag pröva?
The data layer.
Kan jag pröva?
Etterpå. So that was today's stream.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, did we have the banner up the whole time? I was planning to like remove that.
Well, we did, and that's
We
fine.
did. When I put that banner on, yeah, because when I put the banner on, our names disappear, but that's fine. Remember to head on over to Twitch or YouTube and search for Queen Raae and like, subscribe, and
Yes.
comment.
Oh yeah.
Comment, she says. The Prior Princess says you need to comment.
It's true.
Now she just asked, what does that mean? But she's a hype woman, so that's fine. She is a hype woman. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
See
See
you
you.
same time tomorrow.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye 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 bye. Vad var det, Jento?